Hey guys, it's Nick from TheSportsEntertainer and we're back with another wrestling video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the current WWE wrestlers who are the most likely to be released or fired from the company next in 2022. As most of you are well aware, 2021 was a monumental year when it came to releases and firings from WWE, with over 80 talent let go last year. And while 2022 so far has not seen nearly as many releases, when you really think about it, we're just now getting into that time of year when WWE is going through the roster sheets and picking out the spring cleaning releases, and it is likely only a matter of time before some more superstars are let go from WWE, unfortunately. Some huge names were released in 2021, including Braun Strowman and the Fiend Bray Wyatt, among plenty others. And although we don't predict 2022 will see that many releases of that caliber and not the same number of firings overall, there's still bound to be a few fan favorites let go before 2022 comes to a close. And in today's video, we'll go over some of the most likely soon to be released WWE stars and the reasons why for each of the potential firings. Now first of all, topping the list today is none other than the former Universal Champion Finn Balor. For some reason, Finn Balor simply hasn't clicked with Mr. McMahon, and the reasons for this being the case have widely been discussed amongst wrestling fans for years now, with some feeling as though Vince just felt Finn Balor was too generic when he was not portraying that Demon King persona to warrant a major sustained push in the main event scene, or a combination of Finn's smaller size and age. Regardless, McMahon's viewpoint on Finn Balor has clearly affected the way Finn has been utilized on the main roster of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, because despite being such a popular crowd favorite, WWE have quite literally refused to give Finn Balor a big push to that top level on the main roster, since his unfortunate injury all those years ago when Balor was declared the inaugural Universal Champion, and things have just not been the same since. And most of Finn Balor's best work and pushes have been in NXT, if we're being honest here. While the last couple of years for Finn Balor have not been that great when it comes to the main roster, things have really taken a turn for the worse so far in 2022, because despite starting out decently as a United States Champion, well, WWE have once again lost interest in Finn Balor, hence why he firstly lost his US Championship completely out of nowhere after a truly lackluster title run to Theory, and now just took a massive loss to Damian Priest on Monday Night Raw this week, which baffled fans, and caused quite an uproar among fans that Finn Balor deserves better and should really be trying to get out of his contract. It's clear WWE won't be giving Finn Balor that main event WWE or Universal Championship push again, especially now that Finn's 40 years of age. And although, like we mentioned, Finn Balor is extremely popular with fans, given the way Finn's been treated recently, would it really be that surprising if Finn Balor's one of the next big superstars to be released in 2022? Not really, if you ask us. If WWE are willing to get rid of the Fiend Bray Wyatt fairly easily, it's doubtful that Vince is any more keen on keeping Finn Balor on the roster, which is pretty sad as Finn's so talented and continues to be underutilized. A pretty similar situation to Cesaro, who's quite fittingly no longer with WWE. With that said, even though Finn Balor's future in the company is pretty bleak, if and when Finn is let go by WWE, there's no doubt a talent like Finn Balor would instantly be picked up by AEW. And he would be a fantastic addition to the AEW roster, so if worse comes to worse and Finn Balor is released from WWE, it may not be a bad thing when you really think about it, as AEW would likely utilize Finn Balor much better than WWE has recently. Now it may be a bit of a surprise that a former WWE World Champion in Jinder Mahal could soon find himself released, but again, with superstars like Braun Strowman and the Fiend Bray Wyatt fired last year in 2021, who are two former world champs in their own right, it would really not be that much of a shock to find out that Jinder Mahal is among the releases from WWE in 2022, likely along with Shanky. The days of Jinder Mahal being a legit world title contender in WWE are clearly over and well in the past. And despite being paired up with Shanky, Mr. McMahon has not really had any plans for the two besides being booked to lose continuous matches. And now with WWE shifting that focus to Veer Mahan, the chances of Jinder Mahal and Shanky getting released definitely increase for sure. Now some fans feel Jinder Mahal is a very talented heel who could easily be a world champion level star again with the right booking and presentation, whereas you have the other fans who believe Jinder is simply terrible and should have been released quite a long time ago. Regardless, it is a bit of a miracle that Jinder Mahal and Shanky avoided the insane number of budget cuts last year in 2021, but they may not be so lucky in 2022. With it clear WWE don't have any new big plans for the pair, besides putting over other mid-card superstars like Intercontinental Champ Ricochet. Despite being one of the most popular women's division superstars among fans right now, Liv Morgan is quite possibly one of the bigger stars WWE could be considering to release in the not so distant future. Mr. McMahon is not committed to giving Liv Morgan any kind of a sustained push on the main roster, and while Liv Morgan is currently involved in a fairly high-profile feud with former tag team partner Rhea Ripley over on Raw, once this program ends, it's really anyone's guess if WWE will have anything for Liv Morgan to do. Perhaps Liv Morgan's immense popularity will keep her around in WWE for a while longer, but if the scenario of Liv Morgan getting released does end up happening, there's no doubt that she would be fully able to turn things around in another company like AEW. Now, Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz's status in WWE at the moment definitely aren't the greatest right now, with the two not long ago getting completely squashed by Omos on Monday Night Raw in a 2-on-1 handicap match. While WWE seemed at least sort of interested in promoting Apollo Crews following his heel turn and alliance with Commander Aziz, with Apollo managing to win the Intercontinental Championship, things went downhill very fast for the two stars, and it does seem extremely likely that Apollo and Commander Aziz will be getting let go by WWE sometime in 2022 at this rate. Now, some fans may disagree with this one, but even though Mustafa Ali recently returned on Monday Night Raw this week and picked up a good win over The Miz, there is still reason to truly believe that Mustafa Ali could still be getting released from WWE at some point in 2022. A lot of fans are speculating that WWE are simply bringing Ali back to essentially put over the US champion Austin Theory, and after that WWE would once again remove Ali from television and a release would likely soon follow. Mustafa Ali has been very outspoken about WWE recently, and this usually is not something that Vince is a fan of, so while things seem pretty good for Mustafa Ali right now following his return, a release is not that far-fetched once he inevitably puts over Theory. While there are likely plenty of other smaller names who will inevitably get released, one of the last bigger names that's quite possibly going to be included in the 2022 budget cuts is Shelton Benjamin. It's pretty evident that WWE don't really have anything of note planned for Shelton Benjamin anymore, hence why he is sparingly utilized on television, especially now that Shelton's 46 years of age. So for sure, Shelton is a very likely star to be released from WWE sometime this year.